Texas, once a symbol of growth and the American dream, now hides a darker side few talk about. In 2025, the housing bubble exploded in Texas. New homes were built fast, but left empty, silent, and crumbling before they were ever truly lived in. Imagine walking through a suburban development and not a single porch light is on. Overgrown yards, newspapers piled up, and wind whistling through empty windows. Some say these cities are quietly becoming ghost towns. Which towns are we talking about? In this video, we'll uncover 10 Texas towns where house prices have plunged, residents have packed up, and what once felt like home now looks more like a horror movie set. This isn't history, it's Texas in 2025, and it might be your next city. Tucked within the rolling hills of the Texas Hill Country, the gentle San Saba River winds by the small town of San Saba, once a bustling center of walnut orchards, agricultural warehouses, and local pride. In the early 20th century, it was known as the world capital of walnuts. That name wasn't empty hype. San Saba was the key hub for walnut production and distribution across the southern U.S. But as the economy shifted and young generations migrated to big cities like Austin and Dallas, San Saba's heartbeat began to fade. Old homes still stand, but many remain unoccupied. The small shops that once served as the town's beating heart, barber shops, stationaries, even churches, now show nothing more than weathered facades. What lingers is not just physical decay, but a sense of frozen time. As if the town hit pause on one era and never quite pressed play again. San Saba isn't dead, but it's not fully alive either. It feels like a memory on repeat, suspended between silence and the constant calls of the few remaining birds. North of Austin lies Leander, a city that once shined as a suburban star. During the 2010s, Leander exploded with growth, affordable homes, quick access to Austin's tech scene, and retail hubs sprouting up like wildflowers. It was the dream suburb. But dreams built too fast can crack. When Texas's housing bubble burst in 2025, Leander felt it hard. Entire neighborhoods never saw their first family. Some developments became modern ghost towns. Streets perfectly paved, streetlights glowing at night, yet no footsteps, no life. Leander wasn't abandoned ruins. It was a brand new dream deferred, a chilling monument to unchecked speculation. It didn't collapse from age. It never even had time to live. This wasn't the death of a town. It was the failure of a promise. Now let's head west, deep into the heart of Texas desert terrain. Big Spring once blazed with energy. Rail lines, oil hubs, and military airfields made this city a vital link in Texas's chain of prosperity. The town even boasted a massive rodeo arena and active nightlife. But Big Spring's lifeline was always oil. And when prices plunged and industries moved away, the city began to lose gravity. Once busy motels now sit empty and crumbling. Local businesses shuttered, schools struggle to fill classrooms, and what's left feels like echoes of a once vibrant hub. There are signs of hope, residents rallying to revive public spaces, restore the historic theater, and build homes for veterans. But the question looms, can Big Spring truly rebound? Or is it destined to become just another dusty checkpoint in the long memory of the American Southwest? In the arid heart of West Texas, right along the dusty stretch of Interstate 10, lies Ozona. Once a vital pit stop for long-haul drivers and cattlemen, Ozona lived off ranching and road traffic. But when a bypass rerouted cars and trucks around the town, the economy started to wither. Shuttered gas stations, boarded up shops, fading signage pointing to a livelier past. Today, Ozona is still the county seat of Crockett County, but it feels more like a forgotten relic than a capital. Only a small local museum and a few roadside plaques remind travelers that this town once mattered. Here, the only thing more haunting than silence is the feeling that the world simply moved on. At first glance, Galveston doesn't look like it belongs on this list. It has beaches, tourists, events. It even once rivaled New Orleans as a booming Gulf port. But then came the Great Storm of 1900. A deadly hurricane that claimed over 6,000 lives and reshaped the city forever. Though rebuilt, Galveston never truly recovered its golden era. Today, it's known not just for history, but for being one of America's most haunted cities. Empty Victorian mansions, abandoned hospitals, and ghost tours now define the vibe of a place stuck between two worlds. Galveston breathes, yes, but half in the past, half holding its breath for what's next. In west central Texas lies Sweetwater, a town known for something oddly specific, the world's largest rattlesnake roundup. While its outskirts boast wind farms as far as the eye can see, the town center is eerily still. Decades ago, Sweetwater thrived on railways and agriculture. But urban migration and industry decline emptied its streets. Now, storefronts sit hollow, houses are overgrown, and the quiet is thick. It's not spooky in a supernatural sense. It's real-world silence where time doesn't stop dramatically. It just slows and stays. Sweetwater isn't a ghost town because it died. It's fading, not with a bang, but with a whisper. Just north of Austin sits Georgetown, a town often celebrated for its quaint limestone buildings and well-preserved historic downtown. On paper, it's a success story, a charming, walkable, tourist-friendly slice of small-town Texas. But step outside the town square, and a different narrative unfolds. Here, rows of newly built homes sit empty. Streets are paved, streetlights are on, but the silence is too complete. No kids, no dogs, no laughter from porches. Just stillness, like a movie set waiting for actors who never arrived. Georgetown isn't dead, but it's a living example of a town stretched too fast, where parts of it shine, while others fade quietly in the shadows. Farther north, close to the Oklahoma border, lies Vernon, a city that once pulsed with trade and rail traffic. Then came 1979. A massive tornado ripped through the region, leaving scars that still show. Some neighborhoods, especially in nearby Odell, never truly recovered. Collapsed roofs, empty churches, cracked sidewalks, ghosts of a storm that rewrote the town's future. Since then, Vernon's population has steadily declined. Schools have shuttered, vacant lots now bloom with weeds instead of activity. It's not completely abandoned, but it feels haunted by absence. For travelers passing through, Vernon can feel like a memory, something that once was, and somehow still lingers. Now we head south, far south, where Rio Grande City sits quietly along the US-Mexico border. Once a thriving hub of commerce and culture, this border town had every reason to grow. But geography doesn't always work in your favor. With increased border patrol activity, economic shifts, and waves of out-migration, many of its neighborhoods are now eerily still. Homes once filled with dreams, young families, migrant workers, retirees, stand empty and silent. Some streets look like they were evacuated, but no storm ever came. For sale signs flap in the dry wind, and hope, like the river nearby, flows, but not always where it used to. And finally, we reach Pecos, the legendary site of the first rodeo in the world. A town that once symbolized West Texas pride and the oil boom that lit up the desert. But oil doesn't stay high forever. When the energy market collapsed, so did Pecos's momentum. Workers vanished, new apartments stood half-filled, storefronts were shuttered, and even motels and diners, once bustling with business, sat empty. Today, Pecos feels divided. One half still clings to hope, the other feels forgotten overnight. Local leaders are working to revive it, but the echoes of loss remain, not just in broken windows, but in the spaces where voices used to be. These 10 towns tell one truth. Not all ghosts are old. Some are recent, some are brand new, and some wear the mask of suburbia, hiding their silence behind bright facades. Texas is still moving, but not all of it is moving forward. So, which of these towns surprised you the most?